Hello students, I am just sending the video explanation of the PPT that I have sent it on 20th of July, which is related to the problems of rural settlement, and the other topics are also there. So I am proceeding with the first problems of rural settlement. Now the first basic problem is related to the water scarcity. The first basic problem is related to water scarcity. Now, normally the villages which are situated either in the mountainous areas or in the dry arid areas, the women folk used to fetch the drinking water from far off distances, and they are basically engaged with the agricultural activity, but entirely depends on rainfall. The agriculture activity entirely depends on rainfall, as they lack irrigational facilities because they cannot afford the irrigational, they are not having that financial support to afford the irrigational facilities. So as a result, the crops that they grow, basically they are growing drought resistant crops, but the quantity of the production is very less due to lack of water scarcity. So that is one of the major problems. Second is waterborne diseases. Now the waterborne diseases, yesterday only I have discussed about it, that the water, that is the ponds or the water bodies that they are having near the village site, like basically for the ponds, it is a stagnated water, and they are using that water for various purposes, for washing also, and sometimes they are consuming that water even. So due to that contaminated water, when they are consuming it or when they are using it for the bathing purpose or whatever the other domestic purposes, so it is related to that waterborne diseases like cholera, dysentery, typhoid, jaundice, all these are the waterborne diseases. That is the second problem. Third is floods and droughts. Now normally the poor people, that means the villagers, are the worst hitter of these two natural disasters, that is floods and droughts. They are the most victims of it. Now normally the frequency of the floods and droughts is there within a span of 3 to 5 years. So why does this happens? In the previous class you have already studied about that the El Nino effect. Due to the El Nino effect, either there is a advancing of the monsoonal activity or sometimes it is getting delayed. So that is why somewhere it is drought, somewhere it is flood, and the worst hitter is the rural areas, that is the villagers. So that is also one of the biggest problem, because due to floods and the droughts, they have to suffer for losing their life and property, as well as sometimes due to excessive droughts they cannot cultivate the soil to get their day-to-day needs of the food also. Next it is hygiene. Now the quality of the life in the village is basically at a subsistent level, that means at a very primitive level, and they lack all the civic amenities, basic amenities like toilets, drainage, sewage disposals, and all these are not there. Means all the garbage disposal, all these are not properly organized. So due to this, the hygiene facilities are due to all these what we can say the problems, the health related problems arise due to lack of hygienic facilities. Next it is the quality of the houses. Now the most of the houses are constructed with the muds, and their roofs are also not having a concrete one, it's a thatch roofs. So there is a lack of ventilations also. So as a result, the building materials are not very firm. So it is very much influenced due to excessive rainfall, or if there is heavy thunderstorms and lightning and the violent winds, dust storms. So that is the quality of the house is also one of the problem. Next it is, yesterday only I said the animals and people, they live together, okay, they live together within that same place. At the front, for some houses it is there at the front, they keep their animals, and behind that they live together. They live just behind that, means the rooms are there just behind the, it cannot be considered as a courtyard or the backyard. Sorry, it can be considered as a courtyard or the backyard where actually they keep their animals. So it is also not a very hygienic one to stay along with the cattle. Next, it is transport and communications facilities are not having a proper development. Why? Because most of the roads are unmetalled and the communication facilities are also not so very advanced because of the panchayat areas. So they are lacking in the facilities of communication and transport. Lack of civic facilities means the civic amenities like health facilities, the proper educational services are not there, health centers are not properly working, everything is there but nothing is working, it's just for a show it is there. So they are lacking in civic facilities also. So these are some of the basic problems related to the urban settlements. Problems related to the rural settlement. I am repeating it once again, it's a slip of tongue. All these were the problems of rural settlement. Now, the rural areas and the urban areas are connected with each other. So what is the interrelationship between rural and urban areas? Now the interrelationship is, number one, the very prominent one is the trade relation. Now rural areas are basically engaged with the primary activity, that is agriculture, or sometimes we can say the primary activity, that is mining. And obviously that is the part of the rural character. Now in the urban character, for example, the cotton has been cultivated in the agricultural part, that is the rural area. And after the plucking of the cotton balls, it is being transformed into yarns, fabrics, garment, which is its urban character, which is in the urban part. So they are having a very much trade relation connectivity, means the rural areas acts as a hinterland or the storehouse of the raw material for the urban functions, for the that is the industrial or the manufacturing side. So this is the way the rural and the urban areas are interconnected, that is the trade relations. Second, social relations. Now towns are having, means the cities are having various recreational aspects, like they are having cinema halls, theatres, exhibitions, fairs are there, circus are there. And what is it? The rural people, they come to the cities and they enjoy all these activities. So this is considered as a social relation. In this way, the rural people and the urban relationships are there, that is with the social aspects. Next, commuting relations. Commuting relations means the daily passengers. Now there are workers, those who are coming during the daytime in the cities, they are doing all those daily wages, or they are engaged with the work, that is their livelihood earnings, and then again they go back to their rural area or the village during the night time. So this is the way the rural and the urban are connected, that is commuting relation. Why it is so? Because all the cities offer them for the employment opportunities, whatever the way it is, but they offer the they are having the possibilities of earning their livelihood because they are having the employment opportunities, that is commuting relations. Now agricultural relations. Agricultural relations means rural people, they grow the crops. Now after growing the crops, where they are going to sell it? Obviously they need a market. So they need the urban place where they are going to sell it. And for the crops also, for the better quality of the crops, for maintaining the that is the quality of the soil, they need the fertilizers, they need the pesticides, they need the irrigational pumps or the facilities. From where they will get it? They will get it from the urban areas, from the industries which is situated in the urban areas. So in this way, the agricultural relation is also been connected between the rural and the urban areas or the urban settlements. So this is considered as a rural urban interrelationship. Hopefully the concept is clear to all of you. Now next, we will move to the next, that is criteria used by the different country for designating settlements as urban. Now there are some criteria that everywhere there are some specific what we can say identities that we can say that this is a urban area or this is a rural area. So what are those criteria or what are those bases? Number one is the size of population. Number two is the occupational structure, and number three is the administrative decisions. Now, population size. Just giving an example, like in Denmark, Sweden, England, the places where the population is more than 250%, 250% is considered as urban. Why? Because here the population density is very low. If we move to the Canada, means the North America, and in Venezuela, South America, 1,000 persons is considered the place where it's having 1,000%, it is considered as a urban areas. If we move to the another part of South America, Argentina, then comes to Colombia and all, where it is 1,500. If we go to USA and Thailand, 2,500%. In India, if it is more than 5,000 people is there, we consider it as a urban areas. But if we go to Japan, more than 30,000%, the population areas are considered as a urban areas. So here you can see that there is a variation of the size of the population. It depends upon the that is the density of the people or the that is the growth of the population. It depends upon the population growth. Where the population growth is high, now you will say, ma'am, India is the second populous country, so why only 5,000 areas is there, and Japan is not in that order it is considered. But in terms of development, India is a developing country and Japan is a developed nation. Though there the population is they are considering 30,000, the density of the population is comparatively high over there. As per seeing the size of the territory of the Japan, the population density is high, but they have attained the status of developed nation. So that is why the population where it is more than 30,000, those areas are considered as urban areas, and in India where the stage of development is quite low compared to Japan, it is in a developing category. There the population is where the population is above 5,000, it is considered as a urban area. Next is occupational structure. Economic structure of population is basically considered is population of a settlement is taken as a basis. Now just occupation means the people those who are engaged in primary activities or agricultural activity, they are those areas are considered as a rural, and those who are that is not a maximum, like in Italy settlement is called urban if more than 50% of the productive population are engaged in non-agricultural activity, and in India that is more than 75% in the non-agricultural activity. So again the occupation structure is indicating where the population is engaged more with the agricultural activity, that is rural, and where it is less, that is urban. So again the percentage is varying, 50% is there for Italy, 75% is there for India. Administrative decision. Now where the now on the basis of this administrative decision, what is considered as a urban area? India having a 5,000 population can become urban if it is having what? A municipality or a cantonment board. But in America, that is in Latin America, Brazil, countries any administrative center is called as a urban irrespective of its size. Okay, suppose whatever the size it is, whatever the size of the population it is in Latin America, it is in Brazil, if any of the administrative center, like any of the municipality or a corporation or a cantonment, a cantonment board, or any sort of notified area that is looking after the administrative part, is considered as a urban center. So these are the three criteria on which the urban settlements are being identified. Now, the site and the situation. This topic I have already explained it in the live class, so I am not repeating with the further explanation for the site and the situation. Next, I am proceeding with the functional classification of the town. Now, as I said, every town is having numerous functions, but one particular function is very much notified or specified. So, in this order, on the basis of that particular specific function, the entire towns are classified into different categories. Number 1, administrative town. Like I said, in India, if any town is having a municipality or a cantonment board or a corporation, then it is considered as an administrative town, or the what we can say simply, all the capitals of the state is considered as an administrative town. Defense town. Now, defense town, it classified into 3 fort towns like Jaipur, Hyderabad. All these are considered where there are forts that has been developed in the ancient times. It is considered as a fort towns. Garrison towns. Now, the garrison towns are the towns which is considered as a cantonment towns, where the army personnels are getting their trainings and all the arms and ammunitions are kept and stored over there. It is actually a barrack town where army people have their all the training services or all their training activities are held out in these towns, and it is the that is the residential site for the army peoples. Naval towns. It is related to the naval towns is related to the that is the navy, where it is which is basically there in the coastal areas, like Kochi is a naval town, or what we can say, another one, it is there in the Tamil Nadu, like just a minute, I am just sorry, not in Tamil Nadu, that is in the Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam. It is a naval town where the navy personnel are there. They are having their own training centers, and they are having their basic connectivity with their own their activities related to the navy. Now, next, cultural towns. Centers of learning or education, like we can say Aligarh is a educational center, Shantiniketan is a educational center, Kota is a educational center. Religious town, where Varanasi is a religious town. Then we can say another one is Mathura is a religious town. All where having a religious concept is a religious town. Entertainment centers. Entertainment centers are like Goa. It is a entertainment town. Okay, it is a we can say Goa is a entertainment town, or centers, or what we can say, like we can move to the cities of Himachal. We can move to the cities of Uttarakhand, where basically, or we can move to the cities of that is even Kolkata can be considered as an entertainment centers, where basically the entertainments are having its prime that is getting its prime position. Towns related to economic activities. Mining towns, Jharia, Raniganj, these are can be considered as a Dhanbad mining town. Industrial towns, all the steel cities are considered as a industrial towns, like Bhilai, Rourkela, Bokaro. These are industrial town. Commercial town. Mumbai is a commercial town where basically all the trading activities are having its much more promising place. Transport towns. Now under the transport towns, here again we are having the port towns and the railway junction, like Deen Dayal Upadhyay, that is Mughal Sarai. Now earlier it was named as Mughal Sarai, now it is named as Deen Dayal Upadhyay junction. It is a railway junction. Kharagpur is a railway junction town. Port towns, all the that is the coastal areas are considered as a port town. Chennai is a port town. Thiruvananthapuram is a port town. Then Mangalore is a port town. Visakhapatnam is a port town. All which is having a particular connectivity with the port are considered as a port town. Centers of entertainment and tourism. It's just a simple where all the tourists are attracted because of their having that that is the tourist spots, that is the places of considered as the centers of entertainment and tourism. And lastly, new planned towns like Chandigarh is a new planned town. Then Gandhinagar is a new planned town. The towns which are being formed with a proper planning, these are considered as a new planned towns. So here we completed with the functional classification. Everything it is there, you will get the examples also from this entire thing. Even you are having the examples from the worldwide, so you can go with the worldwide example, or else you can stick with the example from the Indian part also, because India is not apart from the world. So I have completed the explanation of the functional classification of the towns. Now next it is the hierarchy of the urban settlements. Now the hierarchy of the urban settlements is basically on the basis of the size of the population. The more the population, the more the designation of the at the higher level of for the urban settlement. Now first one is the town, a place which is having a municipality and the population ranges from 2000 to 20,000. It may vary, it may predominate for the tertiary functions also, like station, colleges, headquarters should be there within the town. In India, if the population is having if the population is of 5,000 and it is having a petrol pump, it is considered as a town. Okay, so this is the first category of the urban settlement. Second is city. Now where the population is more than 1 lakh, that is considered as a city, which can have the terminals for the transport. It is having the administrative office also. Some financial institutions are also there, and obviously towns, compared to the towns, cities are larger in size. Next, conurbation. Yesterday only I discussed about it. The person to introduce the term conurbation is Patrick Geddes in the year 1915. And when any of the towns, if the two towns they collaborate, they merge, or any of the two twin cities they merge, what does it takes place? What does it happens? The administrative area expand. Sometimes the collaboration is not there or the convergence is not there. The extension part or the expanding part is there from the outskirts of that city. So gradually it will also extend the administrative area. So when such thing happens, that is considered as the conurbation for that city. Okay, like it is given over here, Greater London, Noida, Gurgaon, Chicago, are even Greater Mumbai is the best example of the conurbation. Next it is Megalopolis, mega city, megalopolis. Megalopolis has been derived from the Greek word which means great city. Mega means great and polis means city, so great city, and was popularized by Jean Gottman, a urban geographer, in the year 1957. Now it is a chain of metropolitan areas connecting to form megalopolis. Coalesce means collaboration or connection to form a megalopolis. Okay. It is also termed as super metropolitan. Now, why does this happen? Because there is extreme urban growth. Continuously, the urban area is increasing. There is a development of the urban growth. Washington and Boston are the best example of USA of the megalopolis. And if we say in our country, the 4 metro cities are now got the status of mega city or the megalopolis. That is Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata and Delhi. These are the 4 mega cities of our country. Last is the million city. Now, the number of the million city in the world has continuously increasing. Why? Because the population is increasing and the transformation. Now, as we are having that characteristics of migration, people are migrating from rural areas to the urban areas in search of their livelihood, and then obviously if they are not getting the place to stay in the heart of the city, the outskirts is continuously expanding and population of that place is increasing. So, in this way the million city is gradually increasing in number and million cities are termed as metro cities. Okay. So, London reached the million mark in the year 1800, followed by Paris in 1850, New York in 1860. So, these are the way, and there are many metro cities or the million plus cities in the entire world. So, this is the entire that is the hierarchy of the urban settlements, starting from town, then comes city, then comes conurbation, then mega city and lastly million city. Okay. So, the topic for today's explanation is over. I have completed all the topic that was given in your PDF of 20th July. Thank you for following the class.